Can a state tax lien be removed from your credit report? What a great question. In this video, not only am I going to show you how that works, but kind of how the whole credit system works. I've got a lot of bandwidth in this area. And by the time we're done with this video, not only am I going to show you how to remove a state tax lien from your credit report, but also remove any other blemishes or what have you on your credit report that don't belong there, quite frankly. You got to understand the system, and I've got years of experience in this area helping people, so you've tuned into the right area. And the other side of it is, I'm going to show you how this makes you money. So by the time I'm done with this video, I'm going to show you what can stick to your credit report, what can't, how do you keep your credit score up, why that's important. Sorry, Dave Ramsey, but it is. I'm going to show you all those different things. And here's a bonus. At the very end, I'm going to show you the exact tools you need to implement a lot of what I'm talking about. But first of all, you need to know how this works. First of all, let's talk about the history of TRW, TransUnion, Equifax, all of those out there. Okay, you need to. It's absolutely imperative that you understand these are private companies. This isn't a federal agencies. So let me get you my history. Way back in 1992, I believe it was, I was working at New York Life. And in my cubicle area, because I didn't have an office at the time, there was a guy in there, I can't remember his name, I think it was Fred. We'll call him Fred. You know, he and I were talking, and he wanted to get a minivan. He had just gotten married, second marriage. And I said, well, why don't you just go down and buy one? He goes, oh. You know, that was back in the minivan era, people. They were still very popular back then. And he said, well, my credit is taking a ding from my divorce and, you know, can't make it happen. Well, it had taken more than a ding. It was horrible. Evidently, he had not only an what do you call that? Angry ex-wife, whatever. They had destroyed their credit, but he also had a business partner that had embezzled a bunch of money, and so it really trashed his credit. I do believe, if I remember correctly, there were 114 derogatory items on his credit report. It was bad. And so I'm like, oh, that's not right. So I started doing research. Now remember, the internet didn't exist then. So I went to one of these obscure bookstores that I found in the Scottsdale area where I lived in Phoenix, Arizona. And I found a book there that talked about the credit reports, and it was so enlightening. First of all, first thing I said in this video, you have to understand that the credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, whatever, I don't care who they are, these are private companies selling information about you. Very important that absorb. You think about that for a minute. So there's a lot of laws about this, but they make you think like they control you, and it's not true. There's a Fair Credit Report, I think of 1975 or 85, I can't remember what year, doesn't matter. But there's all of these laws that have been put in place. Now I'm gonna show you some old school stuff that still applies to now, but it's a different procedure on how you get there, not much, only because of the digital age. So what I discovered while I doing this research, I'm like, okay, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, so these people get to sell information on you. Who's watching them? Nobody, it turns out. And it turns out the only person that's watching them is you. And so what I learned as I became obsessed with this. I'm like, this is really cool. So I told this guy, Fred, I said, get me your credit report. So he got a credit report from all three agencies, not just one. He got a credit report. They have to give you one free one every single year. Okay, that free one. This is a full-blown credit report. It won't go against your credit score for pulling a credit report because it's you. And on there is all of the information. Now, again, we're going to go back to the days before internet and all that good stuff. So what I learned was they have to prove this is yours. I'm like, okay, this is cool. So I said, let's highlight these things. Please take this off my credit, all highlighted items off my credit report, for it does not belong on there. Didn't say it wasn't his, didn't say he was late, didn't say any of those things. And we sent it off. They have to, by law, contact Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whatever the case is, and say, hey, he said he wasn't late. And they've got 30 days or 35, I can't remember the exact numbers, to show the credit bureaus that you were late. In about 45 days, he got a new credit report. Well, lo and behold, half of them were gone. I was like shocked, and I'm going, this is pretty cool. So one of the things I realized that they tried doing, they said, in that second pass, they said, hey, these have been eliminated. They'll no longer show on your credit report, but these documented, show us what you show to prove this. You are not obligated to show them squat, okay? Do not ever do that, okay? You just repeat. Please remove all highlighted items for they do not belong. Now again, they're highlighted and sending the letter doesn't work the same. Stick around, I'll show you how that works in a little bit now. But I want you to understand the principles. So this kept going, this kept going, this kept going, and we had them all eliminated except for 4 in about 6-month window of time. I never had one as bad as that, but it got to the point where everybody kind of figured out that I knew what I was doing on this. And then I ended up putting a manila envelope together with all the directions on how to do it. I just handed it to people. And there were 2 things I discovered. A lot of people had ruined their credit, but a lot of people believe that the credit bureaus had the power. They don't. They don't have the power. You have the power. The one thing you don't do is admit anything that happened, because they'll literally put that on your credit report. If you say, oh, I was late because I was out of the country and this isn't fair, they'll literally put, he was out of the country so he couldn't pay it on that. And there's no way that's going to ever eliminate. Here's the rules. Okay, the rules are very simple. They have to prove that what they're reporting is a fact. They don't care. So what they do is they go, Visa, prove that he was late back in 2022 December. And Visa's goes, that was a long time ago. We don't care. If they don't respond within that 35-day window of time, it is eliminated. Now, there are some agencies out there that I'm going to reveal to you a little bit later that'll help you with this, and they ain't going to tell you this, because there's a lot of nefarious characters out there that say they can get stuff eliminated, and there's some truth to that. But they, there's all sorts of things that they do that I don't know, I'm not too cool with. But I'm going to tell you, it goes as far as bankruptcies, okay? I've even helped people eliminate bankruptcies off their record because, again, it's the same process. The bureaus aren't saying it, it's the courts that are saying it, and the bureaus scrape some information. So what they do is you say, no, this is incorrect information. It does not belong on my credit report. I didn't say it doesn't belong to me. Okay, I said it doesn't belong. So now the credit bureau's got to send something to the courts. Oh, let me get right on that. So the court's got to go down to their files and go, yeah, here it is. Let me send it to you again. Not going to happen. There's a couple of things, and I had people say, yeah, but if somebody ruined their credit, that's their problem. They need to pay the consequences. Why? Why is it? I've seen some such uncool scenarios. I've seen a child, a daughter or a son, had taken their parents' credit card and ran it all up and fraudulently did a bunch of stuff, and the parents are stuck with this. Is that their fault? No. Listen, everybody makes mistakes. And I'm going to tell you this, once you've made a mistake and you have to go through a process like this, you will covet your credit reports. Now, I know Dave Ramsey goes into the whole thing. I don't have a credit score because I don't need a credit score. I paid cash for everything, and he has that, Tennessee accent, which is all adorable and everything. He's also a guy that makes $10 million a month. Okay, no, he doesn't need credit. When I'm doing real estate, when I'm doing all sorts of stuff out there, I literally right now, at this recording, I don't know when you're watching this, but Wells Fargo has a 0% interest credit card with a 21-month window. They just gave me $30,000 line of credit, 0% for 21 months. Oh, I'm going to take that credit every day. I've got a house that needs literally $19,000 worth of rehab. Guess where I'm getting that money from? Oh, Mr. Wells Fargo. I don't like Wells Fargo. They're a shitty bank. They got a great credit card. So I take that credit card, it attaches to that property, and I'm good to go. And as soon as that property is done and we can pull the cash out of that or sell it, that credit card is paid and I got that money for free. There are definite ways to use your credit card. I'm going to take that credit card, go to Las Vegas. No, that's not a good thing to do with your credit card. So here's what I'll do for you. Okay, there's a lot going on around the credit. If you guys like and you put some comments in there, I might have some guests on here to talk about this in more detail. But if you want, I've got a whole complete course on this. Click the link down below. We'll help you out with that. And I will put you in contact with some legitimate sources out there that'll help get your credit cleaned up into that 750, 780, 800, that unicorn number out there that'll help you utilize your credit to do the things you can to provide financial independence for you and your family. Click the link down below and I'll help you with that. This is Saen Higgins saying God bless and good luck.